Hello and welcome everyone. In this lesson, we will discuss the behavioral approach to personality. The two major theories which we are going to learn in this lesson are the personality theory given by Albert Bandura and personality theory given by Julian. So let us take them up one by one. Before going to the theories of personality, the behavioral theories to personality, let us examine the basic assumptions or the basic themes in the behavioral perspective. Behavioral approach, as we all know, focuses on the study of behavior, which is observable and that can be measured. The second important characteristic of behavioral approach is that it looks at behavior in terms of reinforcement contingencies. Reinforcement contingency refers to a relationship between response and reinforcer. So, behaviorists look at behavior in terms of relationships between a response and its reinforcement. Reinforcement contingencies can be positive or negative. Reinforcement contingency or the relationship between a response and a reinforcer is said to be positive if the occurrence of the reinforcer is more probable after the response. So, if the organism can predict high chances of a reinforcer following a response, this forms a positive contingency, positive reinforcement contingency. Whereas, if the probability of a response being followed by a reinforcer is low, the reinforcement contingency is said to be negative. If we were to translate this concept of reinforcement contingency into simpler words, what it simply means is that a response is strengthened if the probability of a reinforcer following the response is high, whereas a response is weakened if the probability of the reinforcer following the response is low. So, if the organism can preempt a reinforcer following an action or a response, the probability of that response occurring is high. On the other hand, if the organism has low expectation of the response being followed by a reinforcement, obviously the strength of the response, the probability of that response occurring is low. So, if the probability of a response being followed by reinforcer is high, we call it a positive reinforcement contingency. If the probability of a response followed by a reinforcer is low, we call it a negative reinforcement contingency. According to the behavioral perspective, human behavior is to a great extent determined by reinforcement contingencies, or the organism engages in those behaviors more often which have a high probability of being followed by a reinforcer, while the organism performs less of those behaviors which have a low probability of being followed by a reinforcer. This is simply the concept of reinforcement contingencies. So, the behavioral perspective looks at human behavior in terms of behavioral contingencies, or in terms of the relationship between a response and the reinforcer which follows the response. Just now we learned that the behavioral perspective looks at human behavior in terms of environmental consequences, or in terms of response reinforcement relationships, or response reinforcement contingencies. That means that human behavior is guided solely by the external consequences which follow a certain response made by the person. The behaviorists look at behavior only in terms of the external consequences which follow the responses or the behaviors which are made by the person. So, there is nothing called the person here. The behavior is all dependent on what the external conditions are giving to the person in terms of consequences. It is those consequences, external consequences, which determine which behaviors will be strengthened and which behaviors will be weakened. So, the individual as a person has no control over his or her behavior or behavior pattern. his behavior, the way he behaves, is solely controlled by the external consequences, which are not at all in the hands of the person. So the person is totally dependent on external conditions or external consequences, and it is these external consequences which determine the person's behavior or behavior pattern. Albert Bandura differs from this behaviorist perspective and says that there is this element of cognition or knowledge about the world, all the processes involved with knowing and knowledge, which are also contributing to human behavior and behavior patterns. Let us see how. So, Bandura believes that behavior and behavior patterns are acquired through learning, operant in classical conditioning, because Bandura is a behaviorist by nature. But Bandura adds the element of cognitive factors into behavior and behavior patterns. What he says is that the cognition or the cognitive factors within an individual also play an important role in determining the behavior of a person. So clearly there is a shift in how Albert Bandura is looking at personality or consistent behavior patterns of a person. What is personality? Personality is nothing but a consistent behavior pattern of a person. So how this consistent behavior pattern is developed and maintained is not only dependent on external consequences, as the behaviorists argue, but also on the cognitive factors within the individual mind. These cognitive factors are self-regulation, which is that behavior is not controlled by external consequences in the form of rewards and punishments. Self-regulation refers to the ability of the person or the capacity on the part of the person to be able to regulate one's behavior without being controlled by external consequences. Bandura says that human beings have a tremendous capacity for self-regulation, which enables them to behave in ways which are not controlled by external consequences. We all have experienced this, that sometimes we do good work not because we want rewards from our teachers or parents, but we do good work because it satisfies us. So this is the element of self-regulation within each of us. The fact that you people are devoting time to your studies and are thinking about your career after class 12 is an example of self-regulation. There is nobody, neither your teachers nor your parents, coming and reinforcing you or giving you positive reinforcement to study or to be regular with online classes and complete your assignments on time. In case you are doing it because you have an element of a capacity for self-regulation. You can set your own goals and you do not depend on external rewards to accomplish tasks. This is what we understand by self-regulation. Coming to self-determined goals again refer to the fact that human beings can determine their own goals. They need not chase what everyone is chasing or what everyone is running after. So we have our own goals. We can set our own goals. If you are studying for class 12, you have your own goals. You don't need teachers and parents telling you to set goals, to make goals, to set deadlines for yourself. You are doing it on your own for your own self. So you can have self-determined goals which are not dictated to you by others around you. Let me give you an example. For example, we have 10 people running for a race. Now, out of those 10, 4 or 5 or maybe 6 are running because they want to win the race. They want to be the fastest runner. Some 3 or 4 might be running very well knowing that they cannot even come third in the race. Still, they are participating in the race because they have set a self-determined goal of finishing the race. So for them, the goal that everyone is chasing of coming first or coming second or coming third is not the goal. They have chosen a goal for themselves that we should be able to complete the race or we should be able to finish the race in so much time. So this is what we call as self-determined goals. So Bandura argued that because human beings have the capacity for self-regulation and self-determined goals, they are not dependent on their behavior and their personality. Their behavior pattern is not dependent just on external consequences. External consequences do have a role to play, but that is not the whole story. Human beings regulate their behavior pattern according to their own cognition, according to their own capacity for self regulation and self determined goals. Another important concept given by Albert Bandura is of reciprocal determinism. As you can see in the image, there are three boxes: behavior, external factors, and internal factors. We all very well know what is meant by behavior. Coming to external factors are reinforcement contingencies. We just now talked about reinforcement contingencies. External factors also refer to social and physical environmental factors, or those aspects of social and physical environment which influence behavior. Coming to internal factors are the beliefs, traits, thoughts within the person, within the human mind. Now we know that as human beings, there are certain beliefs, certain traits, certain thoughts, certain opinions, certain attitudes. So all these internal variables within the human mind are taken to be internal factors. Bandura proposed that behavior, internal factors, and external factors are interrelated in a way that all three affect each other. Your behavior has an influence on your internal factors. Your internal factors have an influence on your behavior. Your behavior influences your external factors. Your external factors influence your behavior, and your internal and external factors also influence each other. If I have to give you an example for this, consider the situation that you are in. We are right now suffering from a lockdown. All of you have to study on your own in the online mode. So let us consider this situation as an example, and let us see how this situation can be taken as an example of reciprocal determinism. Let us start from behavior. The behavior which you indulge in, for example, a person like you indulges in a very good behavior, and every day the person is very regular at viewing online classes and doing assignments and trying to grasp the concepts which are being given by teachers. So this is the behavior. Now this behavior is influenced by internal factors such as your belief, your traits, and your thoughts, your opinions, your motivation. All that is influencing whether you are taking online teaching and learning seriously or not. If you believe that, and if you think that if you study, if you lose on this time, you will not be able to make up later. There are people who think that you should not lose time and you should work hard and not waste time. So this is a belief. On the other hand, there might be another person who would believe that let me enjoy right now, and I'll come back to it after some time. Once the school reopens, I'll be able to catch up with other people. So why to study? So these are two kinds of beliefs that may be guiding behavior. A person who believes that this time should not be wasted will be very regular with online teaching and learning, and the person will take classes very seriously and assignments very seriously. On the other hand, the person who has a belief that he or she can catch up later on and will be able to make up for the loss of time, will not be able to take online learning so seriously. So this is an example of how internal factors are influencing behavior. Now let us go to external factors. People who have high expectation of working hard on online learning and getting a good result in 12th board. This is your reinforcement contingency. What if you study hard? Those of you who believe that if you study hard, the probability of your hard work being followed by a good result in class 12 board exams will definitely engage in regularly watching online classes and following the classes and following the assignments also. But in case any one of you has experienced that even after working hard in the past, I was not able to score good marks, that person is having a low expectation of Reinforcement following a response. That means this person has a negative reinforcement contingency. We learned about positive reinforcement contingency and negative reinforcement contingency. So a person who believes that hard work will has a high probability of getting good result has a positive reinforcement contingency, whereas a person who believes that hard work does not guarantee good result, good board result, has a negative reinforcement contingency. So such a person will not take will show a behavior of not taking online learning seriously, will not be following online classes and assignments very seriously. So this is an example of how behavior, internal factors and external factors such as reinforcement contingencies are related with each other, and they all determine each other. There is no one way relationship between these three factors. These three factors are related in a two-way manner, each affecting the other in a reciprocal manner. That is what Bandura meant by reciprocal determinism, or the view that the external determinants of behavior, the internal determinants of behavior, and behavior itself all influence one another in a complex reciprocal fashion. So, to quickly revise the important concepts in Albert Bandura's theory of personality, Albert Bandura looked at personality or behavior pattern as influenced by cognitive factors, reinforcement contingencies, capacity for self regulation and self determined goals, and reciprocal determinism. Coming to social learning theory by Julian Roters. According to Roters, the likelihood that a given behavior will occur in a given situation is a function of A. Expectancies, or the individual's expectations concerning the outcomes of the behavior, and B. Reinforcement value, or the degree to which the individual prefers an outcome over another. Contrast this with the behaviorist perspective, which talks only about consequences without taking into consideration the expectancies or the reinforcement value which the person puts on the reinforcement or on the consequence, external consequence. So here Roters is redefining the meaning of reinforcement from the point of view of the behaving person. In the behaviorist perspective, only the behavior and the reinforcement or the consequences following the behavior were important and considered. Whereas this perspective, the social cognitive theory and social learning theory, are looking at behavior and behavior patterns in terms of the cognition of the person whose behavior is into consideration. It is not only the behavior and its consequences. According to these theories, the cognitive aspect, which involves the expectancies and reinforcement value, the value that the behaving person places on the consequence, is equally important. Expectancies refer to the individual's expectations concerning the outcome. So, whether the individual is expecting an outcome from that behavior or not. So, the external consequence or the outcome of a response is meaningful only when the person who's behaving is expecting that consequence. If the person has no expectations of consequence or a reward, that external consequence is going to have no effect on the person's behavior because the person has no expectation of a consequence. So now the person's expectation is also taken into consideration when we look at human behavior from the point of view of social learning theory given by Julian Roters. Roters also places emphasis on reinforcement value. Reinforcement value is nothing but the degree to which the individual prefers an outcome over another, or the value that a person places on the external outcome. For example, if I say that in case you bring 60% marks in a test, I'll reward you with a certificate. Now, those of you who value the certificate, who have a value for certificate, or who for whom this certificate is important, will definitely behave in the way I want you to behave, will definitely prepare for the test and try to perform as good as possible. But those of you who have no value for a certificate, for whom a certificate has no value as a reinforcement, for them this reinforcement is not going to have any impact on the behavior of preparing for the test. So whether an external consequence or reinforcement will have an impact on the person and his behavior, or is dependent on the reinforcement value that the person places on that external consequence. Whether that consequence is valued by the person or not is going to make a difference to whether the person is going to behave in a certain manner or not. So let us quickly revise what we have learned in this lesson. The behaviorists look at human behavior or patterns of human behavior in terms of reinforcement contingencies, or the consequences, external consequences which follow certain behaviors are seen to be regulating human behavior. Bandura, on the other hand, believes that contingencies, reinforcement contingencies, are important for human behavior, for determining human behavior, but there are other factors as well, which are cognitive factors, capacity for self regulation and self determined goals, and reciprocal determinism, which actually determines human behavior. And at last, we understood Rotter's, who understands human behavior or patterns of human behavior in terms of expectancies that the person has for external consequences and reinforcement value, or the value that the individual places on the external consequence, or the degree to which the external consequence of a certain behavior is valued or preferred by the behaving person. So, when it comes to personality, Albert Bandura and Julian Roters have looked at personality or a consistent behavior pattern of individual in terms of cognitive factors such as expectancies, reinforcement value, capacity for self regulation, self determined goals, and the concept of reciprocal determinism. That is all for today's lecture. Happy learning.